I'm going to say this right up front because it still sounds unreal when I hear it out loud. The night my girlfriend told me I had to accept her ex living under my roof or lose her. I didn't argue, I didn't shout, I didn't beg. I smiled, nodded, and walked away. What happened after that is the part nobody saw coming, especially her. My name's Ethan. I'm 32 now, but this story started when I was 30. I work as a systems engineer, the kind of job where you learn early that details matter, assumptions kill projects, and ignoring small warning signs always costs more later. I've always been that guy. Quiet, steady, not flashy, not loud. People tend to underestimate you when you're like that. They assume calm means weak. I used to let that slide. Back then, I thought keeping the peace was the same thing as being strong. I met Lauren 2 years before everything blew up. She was magnetic in that effortless way. Big laugh, expressive hands, the kind of person who made friends in line at a coffee shop. She called me her anchor, said I made her feel safe in a world that was always spinning too fast for her. I believed her. We moved in together after about a year into a downtown condo with big windows and clean lines. The lease was in my name. I paid most of the bills. Not because she asked, but because I could. She worked freelance, creative stuff, income came in waves. I told myself that was what partners did. You cover each other when things aren't even. For a while it felt real. Sunday mornings on the couch ordering takeout and talking about the future like it was already mapped out. She talked about marriage in that half-joking, half-testing way. Kids maybe. A bigger place someday. I listened and filled in the gaps in my head. That's what I do. I design systems. I assume inputs are honest. There was one variable that never quite fit. Her ex, Marcus. According to Lauren, he was a chapter she'd closed, a mistake she'd learned from. She said the breakup wrecked her, made it hard to trust. I never pushed. Everyone has history, but his name came up a lot, too casually. Concerts they'd gone to, trips they'd taken, inside jokes she'd forget I wasn't part of. Every time she'd laugh it off and say, "Relax, you're nothing like him. You're the good one." That should have sounded better than it did. Little things started shifting. Her phone always face down. Texts she'd answer in the hallway. Nights she'd stay up late, screen glowing, smiling at something she'd never explain. When I asked, she said I was overthinking. I almost believed her. Almost. Around that time, I finished a personal project I'd been working on for years. A custom home automation system. Lights, audio, displays all tied into one central server I'd built myself. It wasn't about showing off. It was about control, about building something that worked exactly the way it should. Lauren loved it. Bragged about it to friends. Called our place the coolest apartment in the group. So I planned a launch party. Not just a party, an event. Catered food, a real bar setup, lighting scenes, music that flowed room to room. I spent weeks on it. Thousands of dollars. Lauren was thrilled. Posted about it constantly. Told everyone how proud she was of me. Said this was the life she wanted. I held on to that. 3 days before the party, she sat at the kitchen island spinning a coaster like it was keeping her grounded. She mentioned casually that Marcus was back in town. I felt that drop in my stomach before I even knew why. Then she said it. She'd run into him. They'd talked. She'd invited him to the party. I asked her if she was serious. She rolled her eyes and said, "Don't make this weird." I told her I wasn't comfortable with it, that this was our home, our event, something I built, that inviting her ex without even asking me crossed a line. She sighed, crossed her arms, and said the words that burned into my memory. "If you can't be cool about this, then maybe we shouldn't be together." There it was, an ultimatum. Clean sharp, like a blade slid across the table. Be cool or lose everything. I looked at her, really looked, and I saw it then. Not fear, not doubt. Confidence. She was sure I wouldn't walk. She thought I was safe. Predictable, bendable. Something in me settled. Calm, clear. I nodded and said, "You're right. I'll be cool." Her shoulders relaxed. She smiled like she'd just won an argument she shouldn't have had to fight. The night of the party, the apartment looked perfect. People poured in, compliments everywhere. Lauren was glowing, playing host, glancing at me now and then with that look that said, "Remember your role." Around 9, the doorbell rang. Marcus stood there exactly like I'd imagined. Casual confidence, worn jacket, that look of someone used to getting away with things. I shook his hand, smiled, welcomed him. Lauren hugged him a beat too long, kissed his cheek, muscle memory, habit. I watched it all steady as glass. Then I said calmly, "Well, he's here. My part's done." I grabbed my jacket. Lauren's smile cracked. She whispered, sharp and angry, "What are you doing?" I told her I was following instructions. Being cool. I walked out. In the elevator, I opened my phone and ran a shutdown script on my system. Lights, music displays, everything went dead. Not out of spite, out of ownership. I was halfway to a bar with my friends when my phone exploded. "Turn it back on. You're embarrassing me. You ruined everything." I sent one message. "You gave me a choice. I chose. You have 30 days to move out." Then I blocked her. What came next wasn't dramatic. It was slow. Legal notices. Police present while I retrieved my equipment. Marcus sitting on my couch like he belonged there until an officer reminded him he didn't. Lauren crying, calling me heartless, petty, abusive. I called it boundaries. She didn't leave on time. I filed for eviction. Her mother called, begged, blamed me. Marcus disappeared once the free apartment and toys were gone. Deputies eventually walked Lauren out while she screamed that I was ruining her life. Inside, the damage was intentional. Scratched floors, broken screens, ruined furniture, a handwritten note calling me a psycho. I kept it. Proof matters. Court was quiet. Facts beat feelings. I won. Judgments filed. Consequences set in. I moved to a quieter place. I didn't rebuild the system right away. I learned to like simple lights, manual switches, silence. Here's what I learned. People don't issue ultimatums unless they think you're too afraid to leave. Calm isn't weakness. Silence isn't surrender. Sometimes the strongest move is stepping away and letting the structure collapse without you holding it up. So here's my question to you. Was I right or was I cruel? Where's the line between being cool and betraying yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you draw that line and whether you've ever had to walk away when someone thought you never would.